share my experiences with Dadi, with Baap Dada, as well as Dadi Gulzar, because I came to Baba when I was very young, at the age of 11, with my Lokik mother. And I feel very proud to say that I took so much sustenance from Baba and Mama, because I came to Baba in the year 1959, December to be exact. And Baba had come to Bombay, Sakar Baba, and he had invited mothers for Brahma Bhojan. Usually Baba used to have Brahma Bhojan every day with a small group. And the day I met Baba for the first time, it was on an invitation by Baba when he had invited some mothers along with their children. So the sisters in charge would keep in mind that only 50, group of 50 could have Brahma Bhojan together with Baba and their little children, whoever could come with the children. So I had the privilege of meeting Baba. My mother took me, and at the very first instance when I saw Baba, I felt I knew him, though I didn't know anything. I was just given the introduction that somebody told me that your mother is taking you to meet her guru. So I was very young. But then when I saw Baba, I felt I knew him. He looked so familiar. And then I saw Baba inviting children, and each child going in Baba's lap, and Baba giving him drishti, Baba giving him a blessing. It was like a new life for that soul. So I liked it very much, because Baba was saying, come child, come daughter, come son, bachchi, aao, aao, come. So when Baba called me, it was my turn. Baba called me, aao bachchi. I felt my father had called me, because I lost my Lokik father when I was very young. Very young means just 3 days old. The body was just 3 days old. He died in a motorcycle accident, a road accident, and I never saw my Lokik father. So I always used to feel that nobody really calls me daughter or child. And here Baba said, come child, come daughter. I felt goose pimples, in me, and immediately I ran into Baba's lap. And Baba blessed me. The child has come back to her father. So this was my feeling at that moment, that I have found my real father and I'm in my father's lap. So very often I proudly say that children are born in different ways, alokik children. Some children, I'm sure each one will have a different experience of how your spiritual birth took place. Some of you may say that Dadi gave me drishti, and immediately I felt so elevated, it was my spiritual birth. Somebody may say that I saw light on Dadi's forehead or my senior's forehead, and I felt, yes, this is what I'm looking for. Somebody may say that I was given toli, and that toli gave me a new birth, So some are born through toli, some are born through drishti, some are born through the light on the forehead, and some are born through spiritual knowledge, because when they come, they take the course, and they feel that this is what they were looking for, and they have found it. So through spiritual knowledge, and some through meditation, they come and sit in Baba's room, and they feel the strength within, and it's a spiritual birth. So some through yoga, some through knowledge, some through dharana, some through service, some through toli, some through drishti. Now each one can look back how he or she got his or her spiritual birth. But I very proudly say that I took my spiritual birth in Baba's lap. I just went into Baba's lap, ran literally, and I felt I found my father and just, hugged Baba. And Baba said, "Yes, child, the child has come back to the father." And then, of course, there was no looking back. And then I used to come to Baba every morning in the Murli. I never did the course. Who will give a 11-year-old child some course, 7 days course? During those days, there were no courses. There was nothing like a preliminary course or intermediate course or higher course, nothing. No positive thinking courses, no self-management courses, no living values training, nothing of such sort. It was so simple. The sisters would just tell us, "You are a soul, and God is one, He is light." And we had no other pictures, just 2 pictures, that's all. And Baba mentions about those 2 pictures in the Murlis. One picture was the Trimurti and the cycle, that was one picture. And the other picture was the picture of the Kalpa tree. That's all, nothing else. And there was nothing like course. And it was a wonderful time because they would tell us, "You are a soul," and immediately we would become soul conscious. Sit in Baba's room, sit in front of Baba, and immediately some lightness, some feeling, some experience would come. That is why Baba keeps telling, the last Murli also Baba said, give them an experience. And experience is very important. My brother Ramesh yesterday gave a class on how to do experience-oriented service. I remember Manohar Dadiji telling me once that when they first went on service, they did not even have proper knowledge. There was anything like giving a course. Of course, knowledge was there in their intellect, but how to give it to others, that they didn't know. No training was given to them anyway. So people used to come to them and they would say, "Oh, you are like Devis, goddesses, dressed in white. You're so lovely, so sweet, you're real angels." And then wherever they went, they would give drishti. And as they would give drishti, those souls would go into trance. This was a wonderful experience even at the beginning of service, when it started in India in 1952. Manohar Dadi shares her wonderful experiences of first service when they went to Delhi and all that. So this was the experience during those days. No course, just you are a soul, okay, become soul conscious, you are seated here, you are a point of light, now just become detached and go to Param Dham, that's your home, and just be there with Baba on the very first day. And people used to get such wonderful experiences. They used to see so many visions. And that's how they were pulled to Baba. So this was my first experience of feeling that I have met my real father. And then I started going to this Murli. Every morning in the Murli class, before going to school, I was hardly 11 years old. So my school used to start at 8 o'clock and I would be there from 7 to 7:45, and luckily my school was very close to the center. Oh, Dadi is here. I was just passing time. So Dadi is here. We give a big hand, yes. I requested Dadi if she would give a class or maybe a question answer session, and Dadi readily agreed. And today she's leaving, or maybe tomorrow. So she agreed to meet all of you before she went. Today is like the end of the season. Baba's season is over, and Dadi has to go back. She has so many things to do, but most of the time she had been here because of the season. And she has to go back to Delhi, and then many, many programs after that. So she will be here for an hour. Oh, so many questions. Okay, a few minutes of silence, and then Dadi will speak, and then we'll have some question answers. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. तो बहुत सारे प्रश्न आपके हमें मिले हैं. ओके, हेडफोन्स ओके, या बहुत सारे प्रश्न आपके मिले हैं. तो दादी जी से मैंने पूछा, दादी
So I asked Daddy, will you take a little bit of class and then ask questions, or should I ask questions first?
प्रश्नों से ही
And Daddy said, no, just ask the questions. So I will begin with the questions.
किसी ने पूछा है,
There's a question that's being asked.
बाबा को याद करते हैं.
So, Daddy, when you remember Baba, and when you meet Baba in subtle regions, and so your effort to remember Baba and meeting Baba in subtle regions, is there a difference? If so, what is the difference?
बाबा से मिलने वतन में
Meeting Baba in the subtle regions
याद में फर्क है.
and remembering Baba, there is a difference, of course,
वतन में जब
because
मिलते हैं
when I meet Baba in
तो
subtle
बाबा
regions,
के वरदान ट्रांस द्वारा
I am meeting Baba through Baba's blessing of trance,
या बाबा
or
हमको संदेश देता है.
or Baba is giving me a message in order to pass on to others.
वरदान द्वारा सब मिलना, सेवा,
And so meeting through the trance is for service, meeting, everything. Remembering Baba is yoga, and that is my effort of this Brahmin life. And it's on the basis of this effort that I receive power as well as receive fruit. The status that I will receive will be on the basis of the effort of Brahmin life. And so that's my effort, that's my attention, and it's the fruit and the power of that will come to me according to the yoga that I have. But meeting Baba in trance, that's a blessing. And on the basis of that blessing, of course I experience attainment and benefit. And the attainment from that is that the blessings that I receive for everyone directly, for instance, a blessing that Baba gives for the children, I listen to those blessings, those messages first, and so I receive power from that. Baba gives answers to all the questions that children have up in subtle regions, and I receive power from that, and of course I also receive the fruit of service, which means it becomes easy for me. So one is the blessing and the other is my own effort, and I create my future on the basis of that effort. And before the future, my present becomes created. So you understood that the experience of yoga is different from the meeting with Baba in subtle regions. Bap Dada comes in your body at that time. What is the feeling that you have? From the beginning, when Baba started coming,
साकार बाबा के संस्कार होने के बाद हम तो वैसे ही भोग लगाने बैठे हैं क्योंकि हमारे
After Sakhar Baba's
ब्राह्मण
body was cremated, we were just
परिवार
sitting
का ये नियम
for
है
offering bhog.
कि जो भी
This is
शरीर
the
छोड़ता
discipline
है
of the Brahmin
उनको
life.
13
When
दिन
someone
उसका भोग लगता है
someone
पहले
leaves
दिन
the
जरूर
body,
लगता है
then of course the
जब
first day bhog is offered
शरीर का
after the
संस्कार
body
हो
is
जाता है तो
cremated,
सभी तैयारों के पहले
and
भोग
then the
लगाते
full
हैं
bhog continues for
रोज भी
13 days
गिलास में
afterwards
कुछ न कुछ
also.
13 दिन उसके
For
प्रति
13
भोग
days,
लगते हैं
some
थोड़ा
bhog
सा
is
ही
offered
जो उस
for
आत्मा को
that
स्वीकार
person
कराते
so
हैं
that
तो
Baba
बाबा के
of,
संस्कार के बाद हम
enables that soul
भोग
to
लगाने
accept the
के
bhog.
लिए बैठी थी
So I was sitting
लेकिन
to offer
बाबा को
bhog to
आना
Baba.
है ये मुझे भी पता नहीं था
Even I didn't know that Baba
और
was going to
बाबा का
come at
पाठ
that time.
चलना है
Baba's
ये
part
भी
was
पता
going
नहीं
to
था
happen.
जैसे
I
क्वेश्चन
didn't know
सभी
that
के थे
either. Everybody had
जब
questions at that
अचानक
time,
बाबा का हुआ था
that it
तो
happened
सबके मन
suddenly
में
that
ये
Baba
क्वेश्चन थे
left. And so people
तो
had
बाबा
questions
अव्यक्त हो गया
that
तो
Baba has
सेंटर
become
कैसे
avyakt, and
चलेंगे
so what will
मुरली
happen
कैसे
to the
बोलेंगे
centers? How will we
और
hear the
डायरेक्शन
Murali?
कौन
How
देगा
will we
ये
have
सबके क्वेश्चन
instructions,
थे
directions from
हमारे
Baba?
भी क्वेश्चन
All
थे
of this. And
लेकिन
so we
जब
all
भोग
had
लगाने
questions like this.
बैठे थे
So
तो
when we sat
अचानक
to offer
उसी
bhog to
दिन
Baba,
बाबा आया था
and Baba suddenly
ये जो
came
पाठ
that day.
हमारा शुरू हुआ
That part of mine
उसी दिन
started.
बाबा अचानक आया था और
When Baba
उसी
came
दिन मैं
suddenly,
समझती
it
हूँ
was on
सारे
that day
क्वेश्चंस का
Baba gave
उत्तर दिया
answers to all the questions that
तो
everyone
सभी के
had.
मन में जो दुविधाएं थी ना
The,
क्या
the,
होगा कैसे
the
होगा
questions that people had
तो
in
वो
their mind,
बाबा
what's
ने
going to
सभी
happen, how's
उत्तर
it going to
देने थे
happen, Baba had to give
क्योंकि
answers to all
बच्चों के
those
क्वेश्चन
questions.
चलेंगे तो
Children had questions, and
थे तो
so
ऐसे ही ना क्या क्यों
of course the
इसीलिए
questions
बाबा
were
ने
about what and
ओरली
how,
स्टॉप करने
and
के
so in
लिए
order to stop
आए
the
थे
children from
तो
thinking
पहले
like
दिन
that,
से हमें
Baba
ये अनुभव है कि
had to answer
जितना
those
समय
questions.
बाबा
From the
हमारे
beginning, I have this
बॉडी
experience
में शरीर में
that
आते
whilst
हैं
Baba is
यूज
in my
करते हैं
body, while
हमारी
Baba
बॉडी
uses my body,
उतना समय
all that period, all
मेरे
that
को कुछ
time,
पता नहीं
I
होता
know
है
nothing.
आत्मा तो मेरी यहाँ ही होती है
Of course, the
शरीर में
soul is in
क्योंकि
the body,
आत्मा अगर
because
4-4 घंटा निकल जाए
if
तो
the soul was
बॉडी
to
सोना
leave the
मुश्किल है
body,
इसीलिए
soul leaves the
होती तो
body for
आत्मा
4 hours at a
हमारी
time,
इसी
then it would be
शरीर
difficult
में
for
ही है
Baba to come. The soul
लेकिन
is in the
हमारा
body, actually,
कॉन्शियसनेस
but
मैं
my
गुलजार
consciousness
हूँ
is not there, that
ये
I am
कॉन्शियसनेस जो है वो
Gulzar.
मर्ज हो
That
गया
consciousness
जैसे
becomes
रेडियो
merged.
होता है ना
For instance,
रेडियो में या
a
टीवी
radio,
में आप
on
जो
radio
भी
or
आपको
television,
लाइन
um,
क्या कहते हैं
whatever
इसको
channel you want
टीवी
to
में
see,
क्या करते हैं चैनल 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 जो भी
if you
आप
select
खोलो
channels,
उसका आपको आवाज आएगा
then of course you
बाकी
see
चल
and
तो
hear
सभी चैनल
accordingly.
रहे हैं ना उस समय
There are all the
ऐसे नहीं ये
channels
बंद
there,
होते हैं लेकिन
but all
स्विच
the
हमारा
channels are
बंद
not
होता है
off. Just because
इसीलिए
you're watching
चैनल
one
चलते
channel,
हुए
you
जिसका
change,
हम
you
स्विच
turn
खोलते हैं
so that you can watch the
वही
channel
हमको
you want
सुनाई
to.
देता है देखने में
And that's
आता है
what we see and
इसी
hear.
रीति
In the
से
same way,
हमारे को बाबा
for me
जो
also,
सभा में होता है
when Baba is
मिलते
in the
हैं
gathering
आते हैं
and
जो भी
meets
होता
everyone,
है
whatever happens
इसका
when Baba is there,
कॉन्शियसनेस हमारा बंद होता है
my consciousness is
लेकिन मैं
switched off at
मेरी
that
क्या
time.
स्टेज होती है इतना समय मैं
All that
अपने
time,
को बिल्कुल
my stage is
ऐसी मीठी साइलेंस
that of
में अनुभव
totally
करती हूँ
sweet silence.
बहुत
I
अच्छा
have such
अनुभव
a
होता है
beautiful
उतना समय
experience during that
एकदम
period.
जैसे डेड साइलेंस नहीं
It's not dead
स्वीट
silence,
साइलेंस
it's very sweet
जैसे
silence.
बाबा के लव में लीन हूँ या
I'm lost in
ईजड़ों को
Baba's
वो
love
भी
or
कुछ नहीं होता
I'm in the
है
seed stage. It's
लेकिन
not even any of
एकदम
that.
स्वीट
It's
साइलेंस
just
के
a
स्टेट
sweet
में जैसे
silence.
मैं
In
मग्न
that
रहती
stage,
हूँ
I'm lost.
इसीलिए मुझे लौट
And
के
this is
आने
why
में थकावट नहीं
when I
लगती
come
क्योंकि
back
मैं तो
again,
बहुत
I'm
अच्छी
not
स्टेज से
tired.
लौटती हूँ
I come from a
तो
very good
स्वीट
stage
साइलेंस के
when I
स्टेज
come
से
back.
लौटने के
So
कारण
because of coming back
मेरे
from a
को
very sweet
थकावट भी नहीं
silent
होती
stage,
और
I
जो
don't
यहाँ
feel
चलता
tired
है
and
वो कुछ दिखाई
I
नहीं
don't
देता
even know
सुनाई
anything
नहीं
that's
देता
happened here. I don't
लेकिन
hear, I don't
क्वेश्चन
see
दूसरा कोई
anything.
करते हैं तो आपको ये नहीं आता तो मैं
Other
भी
people
सुनती
say,
तो
but
अच्छा
don't you
है
think that you
लेकिन
feel
मैं
sometime that you want to
ये
hear what Baba
फायदा
is saying?
समझती हूँ कि जो
But
स्वीट
no,
साइलेंस
the
का
benefit
बाबा
that
हमको
I
अनुभव
get
कराता
is
है
that the
वो
experience of sweet
हमारे
silence
लिए
that I have,
इतना ही
that
अच्छा है
experience is
जितना मैं
just
सुनूं
as beautiful for
और
me
सेवा
as
होती है
listening to
मेरे
Baba.
शरीर द्वारा
And service is
उसकी
happening
खुशी
through
और
my body,
दुआएं जो है
and the happiness of
उसमें मैं
that and the
संतुष्ट
blessing
हूँ
of
मुझे
that,
क्वेश्चन
I'm
नहीं
very
होता
content with that. I have no question about it.
मैं समझती हूँ
I
आप
think
समझ गए होंगे
you
अनुभव
must have
दादी
understood
का
Dadi's
कैसे बाबा
experience,
आते हैं.
how Baba comes in her.
अब किसी ने फिर प्रश्न किया है
Somebody
कि
had also
दादी
asked,
आपका मन सदा शांत रहता है, आप कभी
Dadi, does
ज़्यादा
your
सोचते
mind
नहीं हैं,
always
तो
remain
इसका
silent? Do you
सीक्रेट क्या
never
है?
think much?
आप
Is this your
निसंकल्प रहते
secret?
हैं, तो आप
What
उसके
is
लिए
your
क्या
secret?
पुरुषार्थ
Are
करते
you
हैं
making
या
effort for
अपने
that?
आप रहते हैं?
Or
इसका सीक्रेट बताइए.
what is the
निसंकल्प की
secret?
एक्स्ट्रा नहीं सोचते हैं
You don't
ज़रूरत
think
के से
extra
ज़्यादा.
any more than
इसका
you have
सीक्रेट
to.
बताइए.
Tell us the
वैसे क्या
secret
है
of that.
कि शुरू से लेके वैसे कुछ
From the beginning,
लास्ट जन्म के संस्कार भी कहेंगे,
well, maybe I
लेकिन
have the sanskars of
संस्कार
last
को भी
birth
बल तो
also.
चाहिए ना.
Of course, those
तो
sanskars
इसीलिए
need
शुरू से लेके
backup.
जो हमारी
And
लाइफ
that's
रही
why
है ना,
from the beginning my
तो
life has
बचपन
been
में ही मुझे ट्रांस का अनुभव हुआ है.
that I've
तो
had an
ट्रांस में जो
experience of
है वो
trance from a
आपको मालूम
childhood.
ही है कि इस
You know that
दुनिया या
in a
संकल्प
state of
जो
trance,
जो भी होती है मन बुद्धि का स्मृति तो रहती नहीं है. ट्रांस में
we,
तो खो
when you
जाते
go
हैं
into
ना.
trance, you don't have
तो
any
मैं
awareness of
समझती
this
हूँ ये
world.
मेरे को
And so I think
जो
that
बचपन से,
this
क्योंकि पाकिस्तान से लेके सूक्ष्म
practice
वतन
that I
का जो
have
पाठ
from the
है,
days of
पहले
Pakistan, from my
सूक्ष्म वतन
childhood,
का साक्षात्कार नहीं होता था.
we didn't have
सब वैकुंठ का होता था.
experience
डांस है
of
सत्युगीन
subtle
जन्म
regions in
कैसे
the
होगा,
beginning. In the
शादियाँ
beginning, it
कैसे
was
होंगी, ये
just the
मतलब ये
golden
बहुत
age,
देखते
how
थे
how children will be
सत्युग का.
born, how marriage
ये
ceremonies will
सूक्ष्म
take
वतन
place.
मूल
This is
वतन
what we
की
experienced in the
स्पष्टीकरण
beginning.
नहीं थी.
There was no
ड्रामा में
clarity
तो
about
थी
supreme
लेकिन हम
region and
लोगों के
subtle
बीच में
region.
नहीं.
Amongst us, there wasn't that
तो जब
clarification.
हम
And
पाकिस्तान
so,
में थे
when we were in
तब
Pakistan,
से
from that
हमारा
time,
ट्रांस का पार्ट चला
my
है.
role has
ट्रांस
been
का
the role
पार्ट
of
होने के
trance,
कारण
going into trance.
बाबा
And because of
के
that,
भवन अलग होता था,
Baba, the
क्योंकि
place where
वहाँ
Baba
थोड़ा
lived, Baba's
बैन भी लगा
house
था. ओम
was
बिरली के कारण थोड़ा
separate,
हंगामा
and we were
होता है कि
banned
ओम
from
बिरली में ही.
meeting Baba
तो गवर्नमेंट
because
के
of
द्वारा बैन
the
था.
because of
तो बैन में
people
क्या था,
objecting. And
जो
so
बाबा
when
बहनों
there was
माताओं
this
के साथ
ban
नहीं रह
for a
सकता,
gathering to take
बहनों के
place,
साथ नहीं रह सकता.
Baba was not allowed to
भाई
stay with
बाबा
the
के साथ
sisters.
रह
The
सकते
brothers
थे
were allowed
लेकिन
to
बहनें
live with
नहीं रह
Baba,
सकती
but
थी.
the sisters
तो
were
हम
not
बहनें
allowed.
रहती थी मम्मा के
And so
साथ.
we sisters used to live
एक
with
बड़ा
Mama.
महल के का
There was
बना
a very
होता
big house we
दिव्य
had, which
भवन,
was like
वहाँ हम
a
मम्मा
palace
के साथ
actually,
रहते थे.
and
और बाबा का
we used to live with
परिवार
Mama there,
और कुछ
Baba's
भाई
family, and some
वो
brothers
बाबा भवन
were
में
living in Baba
रहते थे.
Bhavan with
वो
Baba.
क्लिफ्टन सागर के किनारे
And that
बाबा का
house
मकान
was
था, बहुत
near
साइलेंट.
Clifton, near the
तो
beach.
हमारा ट्रांस का पार्ट
And
जब
so
सूक्ष्म वतन का शुरू
when
हुआ
my part of
तो बाबा
seeing
ने
subtle
देखा
regions
कि
in
ये
trance
नई बात
began,
शुरू हो रही
Baba
है.
saw that this is something new
मम्मा
that's
ने भी
starting.
देखा, बाबा ने
Mama
भी
also
देखा,
noticed,
क्योंकि
Baba
मेरे को
noticed,
भी पता नहीं था
and
ये क्या मैं देखती हूँ.
I didn't
जब
know.
पहले
I didn't
पहले
understand
हमने
what I was seeing, what I
ब्रह्मा
was
बाबा को ट्रांसपेरेंट रूप में
experiencing.
अव्यक्त रूप में
When I
देखा,
saw
मैंने
Brahma Baba
आगे
in the subtle
सुनाया,
regions,
तो मैंने बाबा
in
को
in
देखा
his form of
और
light, I came and
ऐसे
described
ट्रांसफर
it
रूप
to
में
Brahma
था.
Baba, and
फीचर्स
I
वही
said
बाबा के
that Baba,
थे.
it was the same
तो
features
बाबा
that
ने
you
कहा मैं
have.
तो
It was
बैठा
a
हूँ
form of
यहाँ
light,
पर,
and Baba said,
इसमें
but
क्या
I'm sitting
देखा.
here. What is it that she's
ऐसा क्या
seeing?
मेरे को वहाँ क्यों देखा, मैं
Why
तो
did she
यहाँ
see me
बैठा
up
हूँ.
there? I'm
मम्मा
sitting
आप
down here.
समझो इसको क्या
Mama,
है.
try and understand what
फिर
she's
हमको बाबा
experiencing.
एकांत के कारण
So,
जो है
in
ना,
order to
वो
give me
अपने ही
solitude,
मकान
Baba
में रहा
took
था.
me to stay with
तो
him
मैं
in his
समझती हूँ कि ये
house.
ट्रांस का
And
पार्ट
so I
शुरू
think
से
that
ही चला.
this
और
part
मैं
of trance
बहुत
began from the
करके
beginning.
ट्रांस में जाती आती थी,
I used
संदेश
to
लेना
go and
देना,
back and forth
क्योंकि
into trance and
स्पष्टीकरण ही
brought
नहीं था कि
messages from
सूक्ष्म
Baba,
वतन है
and we
क्या.
had no
और
clarity about
क्यों
what
मुझे
subtle
बाबा
region
ऐसे
was,
दिखाई देता
and
है.
why am I seeing
तो
Baba up
उसको
there like that.
समझाने के लिए,
And so in
क्लियर
order to
करने के
explain, in
लिए
order to
हमको
clarify,
ब्रजेंद्र दादी थी, बाबा की
Dadi
लौकिक
Brijendra,
बहू थी.
Baba's
तो
Lokik
परिवार को
daughter-in-law,
रहने के लिए बाबा के साथ छुट्टी थी.
the family members were
तो
allowed to stay with
ब्रजेंद्र
Baba.
दादी को
So Dadi
बाबा
Brijendra,
क्वेश्चन देते थे,
Baba
वो
used to give
हमको
her
क्वेश्चन
questions,
देती थी, फिर
and she
मैं
used to give
पूछती
me
थी
questions. And I
ट्रांस
used
में
to go
ये
into
क्या है,
trance, and
इसको
I used to
क्लियर करो.
ask.
उसके कारण मैं
And
समझती हूँ कि मैं शांत में बहुत रही हूँ.
because of that, I
अभ्यास
think
ये
I
हुआ
stayed
है
in
बहुत
silence
काल
a
का,
lot. There's been a
इसीलिए
practice
हमारी
of staying
नेचर
in
हो गई.
silence a lot. And so it's become my nature.
तो प्रश्न का उत्तर मिल गया
So you got the
कैसे
answer to your
आपका
question.
ये सीक्रेट क्या है
What
जो
is your
मन आपका
secret
शांत रहता है.
that your mind is
डैडी
able
किसी
to
ने
stay
पूछा है कि
peaceful?
ब्रह्मा बाबा के अव्यक्त होने के कितने समय के बाद ये निश्चित किया गया कि आप बाबा के रथ बनेंगे.
After how long
वो
was
जब
it
पहले
fixed
बाबा आया ना,
that you were going to be
पहले
Baba's
तो
chariot?
क्वेश्चन के उत्तर ही दिए हैं मेरे
First,
ध्यान में
Baba
अभी
came
भी.
and
वो
Baba
मुरली
only
जो
gave
आप
answers to the
पढ़ेंगे,
questions that everybody
तो
had.
उसमें
If
पहले
you
तो
read that
वारी
Murli,
जब आया
you will see
बाबा,
that
तो सबको खुश करने के लिए
Baba came.
कोई न कोई ऐसी बात बाबा ने कही,
Baba said something
जैसे
or another
दादियाँ
to
हैं
please
या जो
everyone,
मुख्य भाई,
to the daddies
उनको
and to the
ऐसी बात
brothers.
कही
Baba
जिससे
told them such things
उनको
that
भास ना आवे कि
they would
बाबा
have the
आया
feeling
हुआ है.
that Baba is there,
समझो
present.
साकार में जो बाबा ने उनको कुछ कहा होगा ना,
Sakar Baba must have said things to
तो
them.
पहले ही
So
मिलने
the
में
first meeting that
बाबा ने
Avyak Baba had
उनको
with everyone,
ऐसी कोई
Baba
बातें
would
बताई
say things.
कही,
Um,
समझो मुलाकात करते हैं तो जो बाबा उनको विशेष वो टाइटल देके बोलता है,
Say, for
उसी
instance, Baba used to
रूप से बाबा
say
ने उनसे
call them
मुलाकात
with a
की.
special
तो
title,
सभी
and
के
Baba
अंदर ये
met each
वायुमंडल
one
हो गया,
with
बाबा
that.
आया, बाबा आया,
So
बाबा आया. नहीं
everybody
तो
had
नई
this
बात
feeling
थी कि
that Baba
बाबा
has
कहाँ
come,
से
Baba
आया,
has
चला
come.
गया.
Otherwise,
तो
there was a question, how
इसीलिए
can Baba come? Baba is
बाबा
gone.
ने पहले मुरली में तो क्वेश्चंस के उत्तर दिए हैं,
And so in the first Murli,
लेकिन
Baba gave
डायरेक्शन दिया
answers to
था.
the questions,
तो
and then
ये बाबा
directions were
मिलता
also given
रहेगा,
that
बाबा
Baba will
आता
continue to
रहेगा,
meet
और
everyone. Baba will keep
बाबा फिर
coming.
दूसरे तीसरे वारी भी
Baba
आया,
came
तो
second and
उसमें
third
बाबा
time,
ने
and
दादी
in
और
that,
दीदी को मुकर्रर
Baba
किया,
fixed Didi and Dadi as the
निश्चित किया
instrument
सभी सभा के आगे,
in
तो
front of the
ये
whole
आप
gathering, that
के निमित्त बनेंगी,
these two are
और
the
संदेशी
instruments
का पार्ट
for
जो
all of
है
you, and the
वो
part of a
एक ही
trans
रथ द्वारा
messenger
चलेगा.
will only be a
बाबा ने
one trans
अनाउंस
medium.
किया था,
And Baba
बस एक दो
himself
मुरली के
had
बाद ही
around
किया.
announced it at that time, after just one or two murlis,
तो एक दो
that Dadi
मुरली के
Gulzar would
बाद
be the
फिर
one.
किसने दादी जी ने डिसाइड किया कि आप ही रथ रहेंगे.
बाबा ने कहा ना, तो
Baba had said,
एक
was
ही
it
रथ
that
द्वारा
somebody else
हो, तो
fixed it?
दादी
And Dadi
दीदी
saying,
से
no,
पूछा
Baba
होगा, भाई आप
must have
को
asked
यही
Didi or
राय
Dadi,
पसंद है,
do you like the
तो
idea
उन्होंने कहा
that
एक ही
one
होना
person
चाहिए,
should
तो
be
बस वो
fixed? So Baba said,
चला.
yes, one person should be
तो उसी
fixed
अनुसार
to be
से
an instrument. Thank you.
बाप दादा का रथ गुलजार दादी का मुकर्रर किया गया.
And this is why,
किसी
this
ने
is
दादी
how
प्रश्न किया है
Dadi's chariot was fixed
कि
for Bap Dada. Somebody else has asked the question.
समझो अभी बाबा कहते हैं कि लास्ट सो फास्ट सो फर्स्ट तुम
Baba
बच्चे आ
says,
सकते हो.
you may have come
शॉर्टकट आप
last, but you can
बताइए
go
लास्ट सो
fast and go
फास्ट सो फर्स्ट
first.
आने का.
So can you please tell us a
शॉर्टकट,
shortcut?
क्योंकि हम अभी बहुत लेट आए
Now
हैं,
we've come very
और तो
late,
कैसे हम आ
and so
सकते,
how
इतना
can
लेट
we
आए हैं, लास्ट सो
be
फास्ट सो फर्स्ट
last
कैसे
and
जा
fast
सकेंगे. तो
and
शॉर्टकट
first?
चाहिए ना.
So can you tell us a shortcut?
मुझे मम्मा की बात इसमें याद आ
I
रही
remember
है.
something that Mama says
मम्मा अपना
about this.
अनुभव सुनाती थी,
Mama used to
क्योंकि
share her
माँ जो
experience,
है
because
उसको
Mama,
कोर्स कराने वाली भी और थी, जो पहले
somebody else had
माँ की
actually
भी
given the
आती
course to
थी,
Mama also.
और वो अभी नहीं है,
She's not around anymore.
मतलब दुनिया में चली गई,
In other words, she's left the body.
और शरीर भी छोड़ दिया अभी तो.
In fact, she had
लेकिन
left Gyan and
मम्मा
left the
से
body
सभी
also.
पूछते थे कि
Everybody used to
मम्मा,
ask Mama,
क्योंकि दीदी दादी ये निर्मल शांता,
Didi, Dadi,
ब्रजेंद्र
Nirmal
दादी, ये
Shanta,
सब बड़े थे,
Brijendra Dadi, they were all
मम्मा
the
के
older
साथ
ones.
समान थे.
They were
दादी
like
दादियाँ
at
हैं,
Mama's age,
चंद्रमणि दादी ये
Chandramani
मम्मा
Dadi,
के जैसी थी,
and they were
और वो बड़ी
Mama's
थी.
equals.
तो
And
मम्मा से सब क्वेश्चन करते थे
so
कि
they all
मम्मा
used to ask
आप
Mama,
मम्मा कैसे बन गई,
Mama, how did you become
आपकी
Mama?
क्या विशेषता
What
है.
was your specialty, or
तो
what are
मम्मा
your
दो
specialities?
शब्दों में उत्तर देती
Two
थी.
words Mama used to use to
मम्मा ने
give
कहा,
her the answer.
मैंने शुरू से
Mama
ये
said,
लक्ष्य
from the
रखा
beginning I've had the aim
कि बाबा
that
ने कहा और मैंने किया.
Baba said something and I would do it.
समझ गए,
You understand?
समझ गए.
You understand?
तो अगर लास्ट सो फास्ट जाना है,
If you want to go last
तो
and
बाबा की
so
श्रीमत
fast,
जो भी अमृत वेले से लेके है
so
ना,
whatever Srimad Baba has given from
रात्रि
Amrit
तक
Vela
हर
onwards
कर्म के
through
लिए
until
बाबा की
night,
श्रीमत
Baba
है.
has given a Srimad for
सुबह को
every
उठो,
action. From the moment you wake up, what you have to do, what you have to think before you go to bed, and when you wake up in the morning, wake up with that enthusiasm. Baba has given Srimad for every step that you have to take. And if you follow Baba's Srimad at every step, then you will go fast. That's all you have to do. That's it. Not a single action of yours should be without Srimad. So in this you will follow the Father, and you will also arrive at your destination, and you will become an angel. Somebody else has asked that Baba said that you have to stay in the combined form. What is the meaning of this? Is it that we're merged in Baba and Baba's doing the work? Or is it that Baba's power is working through us? Please tell us the accurate description of combined form. Baba is my companion at all times. This is what it means. For instance, if somebody is physically with you, then you feel their presence and their strength. For instance, a woman is afraid to be alone at night, but if somebody is there with her, say a bodyguard, then she's safe. She feels safe because someone strong is with her. In the same way, to be combined with Baba means to have the experience that Baba is my companion at all times. At every step, Baba is with me. And what will happen with that is that in every step, if I have a weakness, then Baba's power, for instance, a weak person might take the support of a stick or hold someone else's hand, and they start to walk. In the same way, Baba is our companion, and because of that, he is with us. And all his power is with us too. And so at any time when I have a weakness, let me take the company of Baba, the Almighty Authority, and move forward. This is the benefit. There is this experience of being in Baba's company. For instance, for instance, I have some work to do physically. I have to cook, for instance, and I have a lot to cook. If somebody is with me, and if that person, if you're running late or if you have extra things to do, then the other person will help you. In the same way, Baba in the point form is also with you, and in that combined form means that as if just like you would have someone with you in the corporeal form, you remember someone, you take their help and take their support. In the same way, Baba says, Baba is combined. I will be your helper, I will give you power. And so we can experience Baba in the combined form in that way. Baba says, your connection with Baba should be so easy, and the feeling of being combined is that whenever you have a thought, if you have the thought that, well, this is going on in my heart, then, I'm ready to tell someone about it. In the same way, your closeness with Baba should be such that if something of yours is not happening, if you remember a companion, then Baba should be the one you remember, and Baba can be present for you. The very meaning of being combined is that at the time of need, you experience Baba as your companion and to fill the self with power. And this can be the way in which you can experience Baba's company, Baba's companionship. Say in a worldly sense, when we make plans of things in advance, 20 years, 50 years, or 5 years, or 10 years, at the confluence ages, BKs, we know that the period is very short, and Baba keeps telling us again and again that time is short. And so, as BKs, what type of planning should we do for the future? It's okay to plan for 25 years also, because even if we do make plans for 25 years, then our intellect also has to become so vast. Our eyes, our vision gets drawn towards the vastness of the number of people there are there. And so even destruction does happen. Then if we have plans for 25 years, that according to that plan we will give to other souls through our mind, because our vision is expanded that far into the future. We will have the awareness that we have to give the message to souls, even through the power of our mind. Baba says, be great donors and give something or another to others, and we will give them through the mind, if not through words, and that service we will do very quickly. Our plans of 25 years will definitely be accomplished. You might not say anything in words, but you can make plans in your mind. It's not a problem to do that. Baba says, happiness to others, take us too. So how long do people, what do we lack to others? It's a good thing if we give happiness to others, isn't it? If somebody is selfish, they want, and should we just keep giving, asking out of selfishness? Surely there must be a limit to the happiness that you give to others. Baba says, Baba is not asking you to give salvation to others. Baba is asking you to give happiness to others. To give happiness means to have good wishes and pure feelings, even if they're selfish. Let's say that they are. It's okay, let them be selfish. But from my side, I will, in order to keep my mind happy, my heart happy, I have to give happiness. If I give, even if I don't give, if you have waste thoughts towards that person, then that waste thoughts will spoil your stage. For instance, they had asked Baba, if somebody gives you bad feelings, and how can I give blessings to someone if somebody gives me bad feelings? You're saying it's bad feelings. You say it means it's something bad. If it's something bad that someone gives you, if you're going to keep it with you, then surely that's going to cause damage for you. Nobody keeps anything bad with themselves. They'll either throw it away or give it back. In the same way, even if somebody is selfish, at least let me fulfill my responsibility. To whatever extent I can, let me give them happiness. Let me not give them sorrow. If I give sorrow, that will become a sin on my part. If I keep giving happiness, keep having good wishes, what's the problem for me in that? To give them physical facilities, that's a different thing. It's, if you just physically helping somebody, they can get spoiled. Say, for instance, somebody wants praise and recognition. They want praise and recognition, and they want to be at front. That becomes a selfish intention. You don't need to give that, but at least you can give them good wishes. Baba says about giving good wishes, through giving good wishes, give happiness, not sorrow. Then somebody has asked, what is the advance party doing these days? Where is Mama? Where's Didi Manmohini? And what is the state of the mind of the souls of the advance party? What has Baba told you about this? Baba has not told us where the advance party souls are. Baba hasn't told us, so I can't tell you. Nobody else can tell you.
ये है कि
But yes,
एडवांस पार्टी जो है
the advanced party,
वो मूल गई इसीलिए
they
है
have gone for
कि
this reason,
हमको
in
जो
fact,
योग बल
that
से सतयुग की पैदाइश होनी है,
that the
तो
creation of the
योगी
golden age
आत्माएं
is going to
चाहिए ना,
happen through the
और
yoga
नई
of
सिस्टम
the
शुरू होनी
intellect,
है.
the power of yoga.
योग
And this is
बल
a new
से जन्म
system that's
कौन
going
दे
to
सकता
start.
है? जो
Who's
योगी
able to
होगा.
give birth
तो
through yoga
इसीलिए
power?
वो
Those who
इसके
are
लिए
yogis.
हमारे
And
लिए
so
रुके
that's why
हैं.
they're waiting
हमको
for
जन्म
us.
देने के बाद उनका
They will
भी
give
नया
us
जन्म
birth, and they
होगा.
too will have a new birth.
इसी के कारण इस काम के लिए रुके
And
हुए
they wait.
हैं.
What is their
मानसिक
state of the
स्थिति
mind
बहुत
like?
अच्छी.
Their state of mind
जैसे
is
मान
very
लो
good.
छोटे बच्चे हैं
For instance, little
या बड़े
children
हैं,
or older
बड़े
people for
हैं
that matter,
तो ऐसे ही घरों में रहते हैं
and they're living
जो
in
वो
those
उन्हों
kinds of
को
homes
साक्षात
where
देवी और देवताओं के रूप में उन्हों को माँ बाप को
family
संबंधियों
members
को
or
अनुभव
their
होता है.
parents are seeing
वैसे
them
सूरत नहीं है देवताओं की
as
जैसे हम
deities.
घरों में है,
It's not that their faces are
लेकिन जो
like
भी
deities,
एडवांस पार्टी में
but the
विशेष
souls who
आत्माएं
have
गई
special
है,
souls who've gone
उन्हों की
into the
स्थिति
advanced
इतनी
party.
दिव्य गुण और
They have
ज्ञान
such
के
divine
बल
virtues
वाली
and they
है.
have the power
ये
of
मद
knowledge.
नहीं है ज्ञान,
Knowledge is not
ये मद
emerged
नहीं है मधुबन से हम आए हैं
in the
एडवांस
form that
पार्टी
they've
में,
come from Madhuban
परंतु
and are
उन्हों
part of
की
the
जो
advanced
अंदर
party,
की
but
पुरुषार्थ की
their
स्थिति है
internal
वो अभी
effort,
तक भी उन्हों की है.
the stage of
दिव्य
effort is still
गुणधारी
there.
और ऐसे जैसे एकदम नैन भी उनके जैसे
And they
देवताओं
have divine
जैसे,
virtues,
मुख में जैसे मुस्कुराहट होती है
their
जो बाबा
smile on their
कहते हैं,
lips.
वो
Baba
प्रैक्टिकल
describes the
लाइफ है
deity
उन्हों की, जो
state.
संबंधियों
In
को,
fact, they are
मित्र
like
संबंधियों
that.
को, साथियों को
Their
फीलिंग
friends,
लगती है
their
उन्हों
relations,
की
they
कि हमारे
feel
को
that
जैसे
from them.
भगवान ने
They feel
एक
that
दिव्य
God has
विभूति भेजी है,
sent them
ऐसी
a
फीलिंग
divine
है
personality.
उनके संबंधियों की. और जो जिसके भी कनेक्शन में
And
आते
whoever
हैं
it is they
तो
come into
जैसे वो कोई
contact
में
with,
विशेषता होती है,
then
बड़े
like
हो गए, कोई
sometimes
भी
people have
कारोबार में
specialities,
जैसे
and
कोई का नहीं दिखाई देता है
and you can
तो
see for
इसका
some people
दिमाग बहुत
that
अच्छा है,
their
इसकी
intellect is
जजमेंट
very
बहुत
good,
अच्छी है,
their
इसकी
discrimination
राय
is very
बहुत अच्छी
clear,
है.
their
इसी
advice, they
रीति से
have good
सब वहाँ
ideas.
जो भी एडवांस
So the
पार्टी वाली
advanced
गई
party
है
souls
उन्हों द्वारा लोगों को ये फीलिंग
are
आती है
doing
और
this,
वो
they are
ऐसे
like
ही
this,
माँ
and
बाप
others around
संबंधी
them have this
समझते हैं
experience
जैसे
of them,
देवता हमारे घर में आ
and the
गए.
parents feel as if a deity has come into their household.
फिर दादी किसी ने पूछा है
Then
कि
someone
खास
has
करके
asked,
अभी इतने
nowadays,
नेचुरल
particularly
कैलामिटीज हो रहे हैं,
when natural
कल रात
calamities
को
are
भी इतना
taking
बड़ा
place,
भूकंप आया
there's
है,
been an
कहते दो
earthquake
तीन
in
हजार तो
Indonesia
मर गए होंगे इंडोनेशिया
yesterday,
में.
and
तो
many
ऐसे जो
thousands have
नेचुरल
died.
डिजास्टर्स आते हैं,
These natural
प्राकृतिक
disasters
आपदाएं
that
आती
come,
है और उसमें एक साथ कितने मरते
so
हैं,
many people
तो
die in
क्या हम
these.
उनको हम किस प्रकार का सहयोग दे सकते
What
हैं,
kind of
उनको हम
cooperation
कैसे
can we give
शांति
them?
दे सकते
How
हैं,
can we give them
यानी किस रूप
peace?
से मदद कर
How
सकते
can we
हैं
help them?
उनकी.
वो तो योग से ही कर
That
सकते
can only
हैं.
happen through yoga.
योग बल हमारा इतना होना चाहिए
Our power of
कि
yoga should
हम
be
कोई
such
एक आत्मा को सामने रख कर के सकाश नहीं देते हैं.
that we don't
बाबा
keep
जो
one
कहते
particular
हैं
soul
आप
in front of
सेवा
us and
करो,
give them
मनसा सेवा
sakash.
करो, तो
Baba
हम
says, do
एक
service through the
आत्मा
mind,
के सामने
and we
चित्र रख
can't
करके
keep
तो नहीं
one
करते हैं ना,
person's face
विश्व
in
की
front of
सेवा
us and
करते
serve
हैं,
them.
तो
We
आत्माओं
have to
को ही
serve the whole
सामने
world,
रखते हैं.
and so we just
इसी
keep the
रीति से
souls,
हम
many
योग
souls in front of
द्वारा
us
सुख,
in our
हमारे
awareness,
में
and
सुख
through
की
yoga,
जमा होगा स्टॉक, तो हम दूसरे को
happiness to others.
योग
But that
बल
can only
द्वारा,
happen when we've
सकाश द्वारा,
accumulated the stock of
वाइब्रेशन द्वारा
happiness
वो
inside,
दे सकते हैं.
and we can
तो
give them
योग
through the
द्वारा ही
vibrations,
शुभ भावना, शुभ
through
कामना
yoga,
द्वारा ही
through good
उन
feelings and good
आत्माओं को,
wishes. We
फेस
can
हमारे को नहीं है,
give to
लेकिन है
those
तो
souls.
हमारे भाई ना,
And
हमारी
we don't
बहन है
have
ना, एक ही
faces
बाप
in
के
front of
बच्चे
us,
हैं.
but we are
उस
the children of the
ब्रदरहुड
same
के
Father. There
रूप
are
से
brothers, there are
हम
sisters,
अपने
there are children of
सकाश
our
द्वारा
Father. So
शुभ
with that feeling
भावना,
of
शुभ
brotherhood,
कामना
through
या
Sakash,
शांति
through
की
good feelings
शक्ति,
and good
सुख
wishes,
की
with the
शक्ति,
power of
प्रेम
peace,
की,
with the power of
परमात्मा प्रेम,
love and the power of
उसकी शक्ति
happiness,
दे सकते
power
हैं.
of God's love, we can give them
तो
something.
इसी के साथ प्रश्न है कि सूक्ष्म
With this,
शरीर
there's the
द्वारा हम
question that
कैसे सूक्ष्म सेवा कर
how
सकते
can we
हैं,
do subtle
यानी
service
सूक्ष्म
through
शरीर से
the
सेवा
subtle
करेंगे,
body?
कैसे करेंगे.
How will we do
सूक्ष्म
that?
शरीर आत्मा संकल्प द्वारा ही सेवा कर
The
सकती है.
soul can only do service
सूक्ष्म
through the
शरीर तो
thought. And when it comes to subtle body, you can do service in the form that you're an angel. It's not a question of thinking that I'm going to the subtle region and will take a subtle body there. But through subtle thoughts, the good wishes and pure feelings are also through thoughts. And so in my thoughts, I become stable in the angelic form. And an angelic form means that I have no awareness of the body. Baba had said an angel means one who has no relationship with the old world. They only have relationships of the soul, and there's no awareness of the body. And through those thoughts, through the subtle body means to do service through the subtle angelic consciousness. When Baba says that you have to have unlimited disinterest, can you clarify what this unlimited disinterest, attitude of unlimited distress is? The attitude of unlimited distress means whether it's through it is towards a human being or worldly objects, there should be no desires for those or attraction towards those. You know that when you're unwell that you have to take medicine, and you take them, the medicines. You're not attached to taking medicine. In the same way, any human being or an worldly object, that attraction should not be there, whether it's to a human being or an object or a sanskar for that matter. Sometimes there is that feeling for one's own sanskars. One ends up saying, well, I don't really want to do this, but this is my nature and I end up doing it. But it is my old nature. When I'm talking about, when I actually say that I've died a living death, I've become a Brahmin, I've died from the sanskars of being a Shudra, or is it that I changed into a Brahmin from a Shudra and just sanskars remain? Surely my sanskars have died too, and that's why no old sanskars of the self, or attraction to a human being or attraction to worldly objects for support, for anything else. I'm a soul and Baba is my world. Baba is my provider of any worldly objects that I may need. Baba is the one with whom I have all relationships. This is known as unlimited disinterest. No attachment. This is what disinterest means. Not even in service, my student, my center, my gift from my student or anything like that. In fact, none of this is mine, it's Baba's. There are 2 or 3 questions about Amrit Vela. What experiences do you have at Amrit Vela? Should we be thinking about knowledge, or at that time should we just be donating through the mind? Should we be donating through the mind? Or should we talk to Baba? Should we think about knowledge? At Amrit Vela, what is it that you do, and what can you share your experience with us? Amrit Vela is not for churning, actually. If we have any waste thoughts, then whether it's about the past or something that we've done, or there's been a difficulty, or I've done something wrong, which remains in the soul even when I've gone to sleep, and so sometimes waste thoughts come, or I'm thinking too much about service, or I've done this and this should have happened and we didn't have success, what happened, how did it happen, when all these kinds of things happen, then Baba says actually that when it's time to do something, you should only do that. Service is not, you don't have to have thoughts of service. You don't have to have any other thoughts. Amrit Vela is a time to take current from Baba and be stable in your form of a soul, and to have that connection with Baba. And the power that I'm receiving from Baba is spreading automatically. I don't even have to think whether I'm giving or I should give. It's a natural state that does a lighthouse think about giving light and not giving light? A lighthouse automatically gives light and spreads light everywhere. And so I'm taking power from Baba, and the atmosphere of power is being created. But at that time, my connection and relation should be deep with Baba. Baba is giving as a bestower, and I should just take and spread it. This is the state there should be at Amrit Vela. Say, for instance, you do have a waste thought about something. If you think about knowledge because of that, then that's another thing. Waste thoughts come so fast that you are not able to put a break to them. And in order to finish a particular pattern of thinking, you need to have a different type of thinking. At that time, you need to have positive thoughts when there are negative thoughts. For instance, if there is darkness, you put the light on, and then there is light. In the same way, in order to finish waste thoughts, if you remember waste thoughts or some points of the Murali, that's okay. You're only doing it in order to finish something else, fill the gap, so to speak. And so waste thoughts should finish. But otherwise, at that time, it's not necessary to churn. Amrit Vela is the time to fill the self with power and sharing that with others. The more we fill ourselves, the more we will be able to spread. Not even necessary to have chit-chat with Baba. Actually, Baba is seeing that the child is sitting, connection is there, the child receiving sakash and power. But yes, if you're having waste thoughts, then it's necessary to think about knowledge or chit-chat with Baba. First stage, the soul becomes lost in the experience of love for God, and the soul becomes lost in the experience of taking power from God. But if that's not there, if I'm not able to create that stage, then the second stage is chit-chat or churning of knowledge. That's the first stage. The other is the first stage.
वैसे तो सारे प्रश्न आ ही गए, हाँ पूरा हो रहा है. एक प्रश्न
Dadi is saying time is
सतयुग
coming
में
to an
हंसी
end
का
now.
प्रश्न
One
है
last
कि
question.
वहाँ पर गैया बहुत होगी तो
There'll be
क्या
many
दूध
cows
पीते हैं
in the golden age, so we will be
दूध
drinking
पीते हैं
cow's milk in the
देवताएं दूध
golden age,
पीते हैं
or do the deities drink milk?
दूध पीते हैं देवताएं.
There will be fruits that will be so beautiful, just like you have coconut water. The coconut water, in the same way, I'm just giving the example of the coconut. There the fruit will be such that if you want something sour, then you will just squeeze the fruit, and the fruit itself will become a glass, and you can drink. Would that be?
नहीं पीते हैं दूध.
We would drink milk.
तो कलयुग में कहते हैं दूध नहीं पीना चाहिए.
In Kali they say we won't be drinking milk, cow's milk, because the cows here don't eat good food themselves, that we can't drink cow's milk. They eat rubbish, and that's why the cow's milk isn't very healthy, and that's why they tell us not to. And people have trouble with milk in different ways. Somebody becomes heavy, they can't digest the food, or they have acidity. Yes, deities do drink milk. There are rivers of milk there. In other words, it's there in abundance.
पकवान भी खाते होंगे.
Will we food,
वही चीजें
variety of
खाते हैं.
foods? No, we won't eat anything fried there.
बेकिंग का है,
There will definitely be
बेक की हुई
baked
चीजें।
food.
और वहाँ सोलर सिस्टम
There'll
है,
be solar
ये
system
नहीं
there,
है
so
लाइट
you
की
won't
या
have
आग को
electricity.
जलाने की
तो
You
भोजन
won't.
पकाते हैं वहाँ.
So will we cook food
बेक
there?
बेक करते
बेक
हैं,
करते हैं.
She's
घी
saying
तेल
we
नहीं यूज
bake the
करेंगे.
food there. We
घी
don't
तेल
cook
नहीं
it in
यूज
any other
नहीं
way.
घी तेल
No,
नहीं।
we won't be frying
बटर
food
तो
in
होगा ना,
ghee
बटर.
or oil.
और मक्खन दूध ये
There will be
चीजें
butter
मक्खन
and
दूध घी.
milk.
घी तो होगा ना.
हाँ, घी तो
तो
There will
बनाते
be
तो
ghee
होंगे
as well.
भोजन.
लेकिन वहाँ
So we
ये
must be
चीज
cooking
ना
food,
बनती
Shilumen is
है
saying.
ही। बेक किया हुआ और सोलर सिस्टम है।
तो सब कुछ
There'll be
पौष्टिक, सब
baked
कुछ
food
nourishing.
and there will be
भोजन
solar
बहुत
system.
स्वादिष्ट भी तो होगा.
Then the food
वो
must be
तो
very
सतो
tasty
गुण
there, she
प्रकृति
says,
होंगे ना।
Shishiluben says.
पृथ्वी
But
भी सत्तो प्रधान
everything
होगी।
will be Sattva
तो
Pradhan.
उससे फल
Even
फूल
the
जो भी
earth will be
निकलेगा
Sattva
अनाज हो
Pradhan.
क्या
And
होगा।
so fruits and flowers and the
वन
grains
नंबर
that come
होगा वन।
will be very
पहले
natural and it will
जन्म
be
में
the
बाबा ने
best.
कहा था
And Baba had
लक्ष्य रखो
said
अगर
that have the
कोटों में
aim
कोई
that if you
बनना
want to
है
be one
तो
out
वन
of
वन
multi-millions,
वन
then
वन होना
you have to
चाहिए।
be you have to be
वन
present at the
जन्म,
time of one, one,
वन
one.
डेट,
First
वन
birth,
संबत
first date,
और फिर प्रकृति भी सतो
when
प्रधान होगी।
everything is in
सब
Sattva
वन वन
Pradhan,
होना
when the
चाहिए।
elements are Sattva Pradhan in their
चलो
number
वन
one
वन वन
stage.
वन. Okay, thank you, thank you.